What's up, guys? Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to get started with AI rendering in SketchUp. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. And so if you want to download this model and follow along, this is the Modern Prairie Home by Fu Guang Li in the 3D Warehouse. All right, and so we've talked about the AI render feature before, but in the new version of SketchUp, they've gone through and adjusted the way that this render feature looks. So I thought that I'd talk a little bit more about how to use it. So now, instead of being called SketchUp Diffusion, SketchUp's render extension is called AI Render, and it should be installed by default in your SketchUp. So if you go into your extension manager, there's an AI Render option right here that's enabled. If for whatever reason you don't see this, you can just click on it in order to enable it and turn it on. Now, if you ever try to uninstall this, my understanding is that SketchUp will automatically reinstall this extension. So I don't think you can truly remove it from your SketchUp, but that's where you can find it in case you're looking for it. And so the way that you can access the little icon for this is you can just right click in your toolbar area, activate the option for AI Render, and that'll pop up this little box. Well, then if I click on it, it's going to pop up a window that looks something like this. And this looks a little bit different than the way that the AI render function used to look in SketchUp. And so I thought I'd walk you through some of the differences. So the first thing that's been added that you need to be aware of is the credits in the upper right-hand corner. So you get a certain number of credits in order to run AI renders. I think you get like 150 by default if you have just a SketchUp Pro license. And so if you need more credits, you can get them with a SketchUp AI subscription, which is basically going to give you an additional 1,500 credits a month. You can get access to that by clicking on this option right here, and it'll send a request to your account owner, which I don't fully understand. I'm not sure if this sends something to the SketchUp team or how this works, but if you need more credits, you can use this option in order to do that. They don't have a cost listed in here. I've seen people say on the forum it's something like $13 or $15 a month or something like that. But if you do need additional credits, this is how you get the additional credits. Basically, the way this works is you've got the options down below in order to take this image from your SketchUp model and create an AI render. Now, one thing to be aware of is when you pop this up, what this is doing is this is taking an image of your SketchUp model, right? So I'm in this kind of like a perspective view like this. And as soon as you pop up the window, it takes an image and drops it into the viewport. And so if you change your camera location, what's going to happen, and you can kind of see it here, I'll kind of like split the screen a little bit, but what it's going to do is it's going to update the view that you have in the viewport based on your current camera location in SketchUp. But if you ever need to, for whatever reason, like re-bring this in, you can click on the little import active model viewport option right here. Now, one thing I will say about that is it's using the image that's inside of Diffusion in order to generate an image. It's not live linking at all. What it's doing is it's taking a snip or a snapshot, dropping it in here, and then that's what gets updated to Diffusion. So when you're starting your render, what's shown in this viewport is really important. But now, if we look at the bottom, we have options for different things that we can do in order to create a rendering. And so this all used to be on the left-hand side of the page, but now a lot of it's kind of not buried, but it's under this settings option so that you can access it without it taking up a lot of your screen and just having a whole bunch of viewport in there. But notice how when we do this, there's a number of different options in here for presets. And so these are basically preset groups of settings that try to create a certain style of image. There's also an auto option or a no style option right here. And so let's say that I was to just click on exterior photorealistic rendering and not put a prompt in. What this is going to try to do, if I upload this, is it's going to upload it. I think it's still using stable diffusion right now. And so what it's going to do is it's going to update it. It's just going to use that preset in order to create an exterior render of your model. Now, I will say I'm not having super good luck with most of the presets. Like, for example, picking the exterior photorealistic to me almost seems to make my results a little bit more weird or a little bit more different than the input image. So a lot of the time, what I'm doing is I'm using the auto. Now, one cool thing about this though, is it is doing a much better job now of maintaining your geometry than it did before. Like you can see how in general in this vertical view, while it did make a few changes to things like the metal that's in here, right? It's got metal in here like this. For the most part, it's kind of matching up with my geometry. So that's good news because it was previously pretty bad about maintaining what's in your model. But when you click on that button to generate your render, what it's going to do is it's going to create 3 different renders right here, right? And we didn't give it any kind of instructions or anything like that, but you can see it's generated 3 renders. I'm not a massive fan of the way that it didn't maintain the colors in here, but basically you can use any of these presets in order to create an image. So like, for example, if we wanted to do a pencil sketch, the first thing I would do is I would click on this button right here in order to import the active viewport before I run this, because I'm pretty sure it's trying to generate something based on these renders that you have in there if you have those in your active viewport. So I'm always clicking on this button right here before I run a new render. But the pencil sketch preset is going to try to generate a pencil sketch view of your model. So we'll run this real quick and then take a look at it. And then we can talk about some things we can do to like dial in our renders and make them a little bit better. And so you can see what this did is it tried to create a pencil sketch style image of your model. And so overall, it's doing a pretty decent job of at least maintaining the geometry that's in here. Now, that's if we just use the presets. But now, let's say that we wanted to add a prompt. So what we can do is we can click on this button right here. We're going to go with auto. I am mostly going with auto at this point. And what you can do is you can type in a prompt in this box right here in order to give it additional instructions. So in this case, we might say generate a photorealistic render of this building, maintaining the existing geometry and materials from the image, right? So you're basically giving it instructions. And so this is an instruction that I've given it, but usually what I prefer to do, and we can let this work in the background while we're doing this, usually what I prefer to do is let something like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever AI that you're using, I prefer to give it the instructions to write a prompt and then use the prompt that that AI comes up with rather than trying to write my own. But we can still see what this comes up with, and then I'll show you doing that with ChatGPT. Okay, so right here, this has gone through and it's tried to maintain the geometry that's in here, as well as giving us a photorealistic render. And these are all pretty decent, right? Like things aren't perfect in here by any means, but overall it's maintaining things like your doors, things like your windows and your glass. It's trying to maintain that detail right here. So I think it did a pretty decent job of that. I mean, it changed the wood material a little bit, but not a ton. So I'm pretty happy with the way that they've improved this so that it's at least like maintaining your building rather than making it look like it's made out of like pretzel sticks or something like that. So, but what I would usually do is I would use ChatGPT and I would just say, I need a prompt for SketchUp's AI render to create a photorealistic render from an image of a SketchUp model. This prompt must be under 500 characters. I'll hit this button right here. The 500 characters is important. It's not listed anywhere, but if you put in a prompt that's over 500 characters, you're going to get an error message. That is the current limitation of your prompt length inside of SketchUp's AI render. But notice how this wrote a way better prompt than I could ever write, right? It talks about your textures. It talks about, and I don't necessarily like the enhance, so we might change that. But we're going to copy this over. And the first thing we're going to do, again, is make sure that we pick up an updated view from the SketchUp model. And then I'm going to set my preset to auto, and I'm going to paste this in here. And I'm going to say maintain textures without changing geometry in here. But now we're going to take this, and again, we're going to leave it on auto. I'm really preferring the auto right now. I'm going to click on generate, and it's going to go through and it's going to generate 3 images based on that new prompt. And so these results should be a little bit better because we do have a really good prompt that's in here. Now, again, with any AI rendering right now, your results kind of vary a little bit. There is a way inside of some of the exterior photorealistic and things like that to give it a strength of prompt and how much it maintains your model geometry. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And so you can see how this has gone through and it's used our prompt in order to generate a better model. Now, let's say we wanted to make a change to this. So we do have options down below to make edits to something, right? So what we can do is we have three options in here. You can erase artifacts. So erasing an artifact in this case might look like me typing or using the eraser tool and clicking and dragging over top of something that's in your model. And by the way, you can hide your gallery right here, but say I wanted to get rid of these things right here, I would just use the eraser tool and click on generate, and it'll go through and it'll try to remove those artifacts from your model. So this is just a simple eraser tool to try to erase out elements. And I have found that the results that you get can vary wildly just depending on what you're clicking and dragging over, but you do have at least some fundamental tools in here to try to either add things or remove things without it being a huge deal. And so you can see how this went in here and it removed those artifacts that were right there. And notice how when we do that, it's still giving us these three different options, right? So you can see it basically used the image that we already had, and you can kind of see what it did in here. But then there's also a regenerate function that you can use in order to paint an area like so. And there's a lasso function that you can use instead if you want to draw a lasso over an area instead of painting it in. But you can pick an area like this, and we'll just toggle back into our brush and just say replace this with lawn. And obviously you really wouldn't do that because you'd probably have a sidewalk going up to this, but this is how you can use one of the tools in order to replace an element, right? So you can paint an element in and then give it an instruction, and it's going to go through and it's going to try to follow that instruction based on what we've given in here. Because if you look at the original design, there actually wasn't a sidewalk in here. It does kind of like indicate a hole in the design, but this allows us to make changes if we want to make changes. I'm going to try this again with the word grass. And this is one of the things that can be frustrating about something that's using credits is it does feel a little bit like a slot machine, right? Like you're giving it instructions and you have no clue if it's actually going to follow your instructions or not. But every time you click on the button, you're using your credits over and over again. This is one of my complaints about AI in general with credit systems is when you do something like this and you make a change, you don't know what you're going to get until you run it. And at that point, you've used the credits, right? Like in this case, right, this tool still isn't fully removing the paving in here. So it doesn't always do what you want it to do, which can be a little bit frustrating. But that is a function that you can use in order to kind of adjust these. If you were any good with tools like Photoshop, what you might do instead is just use Photoshop in order to put grass over there instead. But let's go back and let's rerun this again. So I'm going to go back into my prompt right here. And in this case, let's drop it in as an exterior photorealistic and look at some of the additional settings. So there's an option down below. First off, you can give it a negative prompt, right? You can say, hey, don't include this in here. You can also drag this respect model geometry slider in here. So I usually like to keep that very close to the right because I don't want this making a bunch of changes to my model. You can also adjust the strength of the prompt influence in here. So I might put that at like 50%. And then there's an option here for maintain seed, which is whether to respect the materials in the image. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mark that because I do want it to respect the materials in the image. We're going to use that same prompt, and there's nothing negative in here. Like there's nothing I want to tell it to exclude right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to regenerate this. But those other presets do have the ability to set the strength of the prompt itself, as well as how strongly the model respects your model geometry. The AI rendering model respects your model geometry. And so again, you can see why I don't like that exterior. It's not as good at respecting the materials as the automatic. So again, I mean, this is something where the AI render itself is still under development, and it can do things like this, which is why, again, I'm usually using that auto model in there. One thing you can do is you can provide feedback. So like, for example, I don't like this. The reason why is because it didn't preserve my colors and materials. And so when you do that, it's going to hide those in your gallery right here. So I don't really like any of these because none of them preserve the original colors and materials right here. Now you can save these images by clicking on the save button right here in order to save them to your machine. There's also a really interesting function right here, which adds the generated image as a SketchUp scene. And so you can save those as scenes in your SketchUp model so that you can access them really quickly as well without having to pop up the AI render. Now, I didn't talk very much about the gallery, but the gallery is going to be a place where you can save your different results that this has generated so you can see those. So those are going to give you the ability to access really any of the images that you've generated in the past. So that's something that's pretty cool because you can get in here and you can see the images that you've generated in that way as well. Now, note that you can, in addition to doing exterior renders, you can also do interior renders. So this was a model called Living Room by Matt Rom. And so you can bring this in and you can do an interior render as well. So this actually does a pretty decent job of doing interior renders. So again, what I would do is I would use ChatGPT and just say, okay, now I need a prompt to create a photorealistic render from an interior SketchUp model. Backdrop should be a forest. Please generate a prompt under 500 characters. And it'll give me a prompt that I can then put in to AI render, right? So we're going to take this, we'll drop this in. And so we're going to go ahead and set this to auto. We'll drop this in, and then we'll see what it generates. And so you can see this actually did a pretty good job. I mean, it didn't get the floor exactly right, but overall, this is actually a pretty good render, and it kind of matches what's shown in the model for the most part. So, I mean, there's obviously some details that are changed and things like this, but I'm pretty happy with this render. And again, I mean, so this is the difference between the auto and I accidentally used the exterior photorealistic. So the exterior photorealistic did not do a very fantastic job, but the auto actually gave me some really good options in here. So while it does make some minor changes and things like that, I do think this is doing a pretty decent job on interior renders of generating good results. So again, like things like the light, you're going to want to pay attention to because notice how here it's different than in this one. But in general, I'm kind of liking what this does. Now, there is one other feature that I didn't talk about that I don't really use, which is generates an artifact using a sketch and a prompt. And what you can do with that is you can like sketch something in here, but I don't know why I would ever sketch anything in here, but let's say that I wanted to add a Christmas tree, right? So I'm just going to click in here. We'll just say add a Christmas tree and click on generate, and it'll try to do that using the sketch. But again, I don't like, I would just add that geometry in my model. So this is not a feature that I use very much, but it is something that is there if you do want to try to use it. And you can see how when it does it, it just tries to put it in here whenever. So it's kind of a weird little feature. I don't really use this one very much, but it is something that if you wanted to try, you could use it. You always do have your older versions of your model in here like this. So you can always go back to what you had in your gallery before. All right, so that's an overview of how you can use SketchUp's AI render. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about it, if you're using it, or if you feel like it's not quite there yet. I just love having that conversation with you guys. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.